Hi folks, Jason Webster here. Welcome to this episode of Inside PTI. Hey, today we're going to talk about livestock manure. One of the things that we've been trying to do ever since we started the PTI farm in 2018 is to get livestock manure applied as a part of our fertility program here at the farm. This past year, I wanted to do something different. I wanted to bring hog manure onto the farm. We've never had ways or the means to do this in the past, and I think this turned out really interesting. You know, we've got hog farmers out there. You know, you drive down the road and you see the hog barns. You go look inside these hog barns, and there's tons of pigs inside, and these pigs are eating like crazy every single day, and they're dropping manure underneath through the slats to the bottom of the hog barn. And this is where we wanted to go and start bringing swine effluent to the PTI farm. We're doing this by teaming up with the folks at NutriDrip. The folks at NutriDrip are the ones we work with for our Netafim drip tape for our irrigation here at the farm. The folks at NutriDrip have this manure separator that is on a trailer that they're bringing to these hog farms and dairy farms. And for the hog farms that we worked with, we're going underneath the barn, we're pumping the hog manure up, and then it goes through this separation process. And one of the things we're going to do is separate the solids from the swine effluent. And when I first saw the solids, and you can see it on the screen here, I thought, wow, that would be a great compost. There's probably tons of nutritional content in that. But the more we looked at it, the more we realized it's just a lot of hog hair and bugs, and there's really not a lot of nutritional content in it. And plus, that makes it difficult to spread. And large amounts of that makes it difficult to spread out in the field. Really, all I wanted was to get rid of the dry stuff, get rid of the sludge, and just get a real clean swine effluent that I call black gold. In this mason jar, we have some of the black gold, the swine effluent that was run through the manure separator. Again, getting rid of the solids and the sludge and just getting the real clean, you know, rich nutrient swine effluent. I wanted this black gold, as I call it, because I wanted to go through the planter with this swine effluent. And everybody made fun of me, said, Jason, there's no way in the world you're going to be able to get swine effluent to go through a planter. And they said, well, how do you want to do this? And I said I wanted to go in-furrow jet. I wanted to go in-furrow. You know, our in-furrow placement tool at Precision Planting is called FurrowJet. It's a 3-way placement tool. It just does an excellent job. And I thought this would be a great tool for the swine effluent to give a great start to this corn that we're planting in the spring. And so we didn't know what rate to put on. As far as I know, this has never been done before. And so I said, let's just walk before we run. Let's not cause a whole lot of crop injury. Let's just put a little bit on and see how this thing goes. So again, we're running this swine effluent in furrow with FurrowJet, 3-way placement at 2-gallon, 4-gallon, and 6-gallon to the acre. And I always tell folks that we live in a bell curve world. We want to test things where we don't put near enough on. We increase the rate, find the sweet spot, and then all of a sudden we put too much on and we see the law of diminishing returns. I didn't see that with the swine effluent this year. I didn't put enough on. And so in 2026, our protocols will really help dive into this and learn more about it. But nonetheless, here's the results. 2, 4, 6 gallon of this swine effluent in furrow, we were picking up yield increases of 4.5 to almost 12 bushel on a per acre basis. And so we were looking for an alternative method to put nutrition onto our corn crop because we're sick and tired of the high cost of dry fertilizer like 1846 DAP. And I said, it's just silly what we're spending on this dry fertilizer. Let's find an alternative method. And this swine effluent, it did great. Again, yield increases of 4.5 to 12 bushel to the acre. The high rate of 6 gallon in furrow did give us the highest yield of 11.9 bushel. Now, cost-wise, we're still trying to evaluate this, but some of the hog producers are telling me, you know, that this may cost 20 cents a gallon to get the black gold. And then there's going to be a separation cost. And we're trying to evaluate this, but I put a total cost of $1 a gallon which I think is going to be high, but we've got to get the swine effluent, we've got to separate it, and then I've got to haul it. So there's some logistics. So I put a $1 per gallon cost on this black gold, and the work we did in FurrowJet proved economic gains of 16 to over $43 on a per acre basis. I thought, this looks fantastic. I really like what I see, even with just these low amounts of swine effluent that we're putting out of the planter. Now, at the time when we were running the planter and then after the corn comes up, we were looking at it. We said, it looks pretty good. We didn't have any crop injury. We said, we got a long ways to go to get through this growing season. Let's go get some more of this black gold. And everybody was like, well, how are you going to apply it now? And I said, well, we side dress all of our corn at the PTI farm. Why don't we get some more of the swine effluent? Let's put 20 gallon on per acre in the form of a side dress to corn. We kept going. We knew we were going to put a fungicide application on our corn to help control leaf diseases. We actually took the water out of our fungicide mix as a carrier, and we replaced it with 2 gallon of the swine effluent. And we took this to yield. And so remember, we had the base down in FurrowJet on the planter of 2, 4, and 6 gallon to the acre. Then we come in with 20 gallon side dress through our easy drops, and then 2 gallons of a carrier with our fungicide. And we saw excellent yield responses from this: 13, 15, and even almost 19 bushel yield increases. The highest rates, 6 gallon in furrow, 20 gallon side dress, 2 gallon with the fungicide. That proved the highest yield response at plus 18.7. You look at the cost of everything I had involved with this, I was real close to a $50 net winner. And that's an interesting number for us, because we talk about that $50 number a lot here at the PTI farm. What can you do on your farm to farm smarter and make another $50 an acre? And just by using an alternative form of nutrition, we were able to get awful darn close at $49.23 an acre. We're also using other forms of manure at the farm. We're bringing in chicken litter. Chicken litter, we've been hauling it in and then spreading it in the fall. And I think it's done an excellent job for us. Matter of fact, we brought in the chicken litter and made it a part of some of our soil health studies here at the PTI farm. Most of my soil health studies have been related to cover crops. Plant a cover crop, increase soil health, get increased yield. These are 10-year studies we have at the farm. We've got corn after corn rotations, corn after beans, and beans after corn, where we're looking at 10 years of a cover crop in the field. Now, let me show you some data. Here's corn after corn data. So this is 5 years of a 10-year program of planting a cover crop. The cover crop gave me, after 5 years of a cover crop in the field, a 5.3 bushel yield advantage this past year in 2025. However, I put 2 tons of chicken litter on for the first time in year number 5 of this study, but just as one application, and it ended up giving me the highest yield in the study just right out of the gate the first year. And again, corn after corn rotation, about a 9.5 bushel yield response compared to a 5.3 bushel yield response of 5 years of cover crop. You look at the economics of it, none of them really did great, but that 2 tons of chicken litter, it just about broke even compared to some of the larger losses from the 5 years of the cover crop program. Go to corn after soybeans, we saw excellent responses with the 2 tons of chicken litter. Again, right out of the gate in one application, just 1 year, while everybody else had 5 years. 11.8 bushel wins on the chicken litter versus losses of 4.8 bushel with the cover crop. Put the economics to this, and this really gets my attention. Coming in just year number 1, that chicken litter, showing a positive $8.35 an acre compared to near $60 an acre losses after 5 years of cover crop. Soybeans, we're seeing the same trend, some nice yield increases from just that first application of 2 tons of chicken litter. Cover crops, again, 5 years worth have given me extra soybean yields of 4.6 bushel, but look at the economic return. It's interesting, after just one application of the 2 ton of chicken litter, we're seeing some pretty nice gains of $25 an acre versus only $5 gains in 5 years of cover crop. So it just goes to show you that livestock manure can be pretty powerful if we can get it to the farm, we can spread it correctly, manage it correctly, use it as a part of a nutrient management program. It's done excellent for us here at the PTI Farm. We're going to keep it, incorporating this into our program. We'll bring more data to you, but right now the data looks really good. We've got soils here at the PTI Farm that have not seen a livestock manure in maybe 100 years. We just haven't had the livestock here. Now we're incorporating that livestock manure in. We're getting a response. Is it just a nutritional response? Is it a soil health response? Those are some of the things that we're going to have to learn over the next few years. Well, thanks for joining us today. That's all the time we have. Thanks for joining us for this episode of Inside PTI.